So we were talking in Yeshiva, we were talking recently about the culture versus, in the East versus the West or the South and so on and so forth. And I want to clarify something. One of the greatest sad points in modern society is the fact that there are so many lonely people. As the song said, this is for all the lonely people thinking that life has just passed them by. What do you mean loneliness? I mean, people are depressed. Well, extreme loneliness could cause, I guess, certain change in the chemical structure of your brain and then cause you depression and lack of motivation. But really, what is the source of that? I mean, having a lot of people around you that you know. I mean, we know thousands of people in all those social media, the Twitters and the Instagram and the Facebooks and whatever is out there. Friends that you know and so on and so on. These are not friends. Why do we have such a need to be on social media and tell the world, here we are? Why people are lonely? Well, people are lonely, I think, to make a long story short. Because first of all, and most of all, they cannot be alone with themselves. If you cannot be alone with yourself, your ability to connect to people and to increase your group of real people that you're with is your chances are close to none. What do you mean I cannot be with myself? I'll give you an example. You go to not that I go, but let's say you go to a gym, right? What's the first thing that hits you when you go to the gym? Music. You go to the supermarket, the first thing that hits you, music. You go to the department store, music. You go to even to a kosher supermarket, music. Why do I love music, don't get me wrong, I love music. Music is wonderful. But I also like very well to be with myself. I like to be in the company of other people. I just adapt myself to what it is. If I'm with 100 people around me, okay. If I'm with 10 people around me, okay. I don't have any feeling towards, I'm with 10,000 people, with 10 people, or I'm with one person, or I'm alone with myself. I'm okay. It's not an issue. I feel comfortable, with what I am, and even the things that I don't feel comfortable that I did, at least I took responsibility. I own them. I know it's mine. It's okay, That's what it is. But when you don't feel comfortable being with yourself, you don't want to hear your inner voice that tells you, that challenges you. So what you're going to do, you're going to create static. It's like, for example, you let's say, somebody's trying to do surveillance on you. And they're standing in a different building and they're aiming some kind of a device on you to pick up the sound waves that are bouncing off your windows to actually hear what you're saying. Well, one way to do so is, to prevent this is go turn the TV on the loudest volume and then you can speak. And then they will not be able to pick you up because there's a lot of noise around. There is an internal voice inside of you that is spiritual voice that is connected to the heavens that tells you all the time what you need to do, what you don't need to do. Listen, this is a mistake, or this is the path that you should go. But you don't want to hear it because you don't want to assume responsibility for your actions like this. So I'm not going to hear it. Ignorance is a bliss. Ignorance is not a bliss. Knowledge is knowing, understanding, being coherent, knowing what right and what is wrong, and to make mistakes and to own those mistakes. So the fact that I believe that people really cannot be with themselves is they don't want to get into the rhythm of the world. I don't know, it sounds like a little New Age, but I'll tell you, when I was able to run, right now unfortunately I can't run, but I used to jog, and I used to jog a lot. I never in my life ran with earphones. At the time we had Walkman or, never did. And when I tried to, I realized the first thing is I'm losing the rhythm of my running. When you are running, I used to get into the rhythm of my breathing, and once I got into this rhythm, I could tell you I could run a lot. I used to, when I got this, there was no problem for me to run. Oh, okay, there are people who run 100 miles, but I'm not the kind of person. But I used to run 10 miles like no problem, and at the end finish with a 200-meter sprint because I wanted to finish it strong. I didn't want to finish it weak, like, oh my goodness, like this. There's no drama. I want to finish it strong, so I used to sprint. Can you run 10 miles? 17 kilometers. And how do you do that? Very simple. The most important thing is to get into the rhythm of your breathing with your steps, in, out, in. So you're going to call it, you think the meditation, the sitting down saying, that's meditation could be anything, getting into the groove of things. You are running, so I call it the movement meditation. You get into the rhythm of things. So when you do that, that's good. But once you have, I don't know what, AC/DC blasting in your ear, and I like AC/DC, that's good. I don't get into the rhythm of things. I get into their rhythm, and it's not my rhythm. And I'm saying, what's wrong with my rhythm, man? There's time for AC/DC. There's time for Metallica. There's time for this guy, there is time for this, but not now. And I don't have a problem doing tasks that are, individually oriented in terms of like doing stuff with myself. Like for example, I can find comfort in tremendous sense of pleasure simply pulling weeds from my garden. There's something meditative about it. I learned so much musar, so much understanding and knowledge of the world with just like being amazed of how weeds operate. Weeds, garbage, not weed, weeds from the garden. I don't need that. Or I can be with people, 10 people, 15 people, and being okay with it. That's not an issue because I know that I have my own rhythm. So if you find yourself always listening to radio, and so much when I used to drive my Mustang, I did not listen to the radio because I just love to hear the rhythm of the car. This beautiful V8 engine that unfortunately is going to be a thing of the past. And believe me, it's not because environment. I'm going to tell you this one. I think that the whole issue with electric cars and it has nothing to do with the environment. It has nothing to do with anything more than to get you, in a way, captive. They sell you an idea, you buy it, and that's it. And one day they're going to say, okay, no electricity. What will happen if there's not going to be electricity? How are you going to drive? They want to leave you at home. They want to prevent you from going one place to another. They want to have you captive. Let's say, for example, you have God forbid, a foreign force landing in America. What's the first thing that they will do? Well, first of all, they're going to take care of the power grid, right? So they're going to control your movement. And the second thing is they're going to take over the media because you're all addicted to the media. You can't think yourself. So you become captive. Now you need to understand, and that has to be with all of this together, that don't think that you are free when you hand your freedom to be managed by others. You need to manage your own freedom. When your freedom is managed by others, that is not freedom, that's an illusion. And in order to manage your freedom, you need to get into the rhythm of yourself. You need to be okay with yourself. So for example, if you are looking to get married, everybody wants to get married. Of course, nobody will ask the question, why do I want to get married? What's the point of me getting married? Right? If you cannot be in peace with yourself, if you cannot get in tune with your own rhythm, if you cannot be alone with yourself and be okay with this 100%, to my humble and very insignificant opinion, you have no business getting married. I'm not saying be a loner, but if it has to be, well, be the best loner you could be, and then if you're part of the group, And I said it to you before. The wolf, the single wolf, is as strong as the pack of the wolf, as the pack is, and the pack is as strong as the wolf is. And for that, Billy Neder will make another shiur. So have a beautiful rhythmic day.